The empire of Tariq was a place governed by the whims of tyrants. Nopline, a man desperate to silence the rumors of his curse, clutched a letter he believed would change his fate, a message from the shadowy operative Hemru. The laughter of a man who believes he has finally secured a winning hand. Nopline was convinced that fortune had turned, ignorant of the fact that the web he was spinning was woven by an unseen master. Landon Barn, a man transmigrated from another world, looked upon his foe through the lens of a system that defied all logic. He was the architect of Nopline's downfall, carefully pulling strings to lead the tyrant toward his doom. Beyond the war, there was progress. Landon had successfully eradicated a plague that had haunted the region for decades. The streets of Ngum were alive again, a testament to his knowledge and resolve. Kamara, a woman whose beauty and cunning were a deadly cocktail, entered the hall to remind her brother of the dark theater they were about to perform for the public. The stage was set for a public deception. The death of a king was to be unveiled, and the rise of a new puppet was to be celebrated in the name of political dominance. A silent hall filled with dread. The sight of black mourning attire sent a shiver through the nobles of Tariq. They were all witnesses to a tragedy or perhaps a farce. Lecter, a boy unfit for the weight of a crown, struggled with the script of power. He was nothing more than an instrument, a tool being shaped by his mother's iron will. With a stuttering voice that belied his arrogance, the new king made his proclamation. The old king was dead, and the era of the tyrant began with a hollow promise of fun. The hall transformed into a cage. Resistance was met with the cold steel of blades, forcing the prideful nobles to kneel before the boy who claimed their future. Blood stained the golden floors as the nobles bowed to the new order. The cruelty was palpable, a testament to the iron grip Kamara and Nopline intended to hold over Tariq. Miles away, Landon watched the chaos unfold. He knew that their cruelty would eventually become their ruin. But for now, he had to build, to expand, and to prepare for the inevitable clash. The dream was taking physical form. The Baymardian Institute of Science and Engineering stood as a beacon of progress, a sanctuary for minds that would shape the world to come. Landon and his trusted aide, Tim, walked through the corridors of the future. Every room was a promise of technology, efficiency, and strength that would soon dwarf any ancient kingdom. Even the cold could be tamed. The resort was ready to welcome guests into domes that mirrored the stars. It was a new era, one where even the harsh winter served the prosperity of the empire. A notification, a command, a new mission. The system pushed him toward the north, toward a hidden destiny that required his immediate intervention. In the dark corners of Arcadina, other vultures were circling. Barn, the prince of deception, had discovered the location of the man he hated most, and he hungered for the kill. Barn, driven by jealousy and a warped sense of superiority, was preparing his own trap. He wanted to claim Baymard for himself, blind to the true power that lay within its walls. Behind the iron gates of Baymard's high-tech prison, the air was thick with the scent of violence and the desperation of men who had everything to lose. Warden Mitchin, a man whose mere presence could freeze the breath in one's lungs, patrolled his domain. To the inmates, he was not just a jailer, but a nightmare given form. A display of raw, overwhelming strength. With a single strike, the warden shattered their spirit, silencing the brawling room and ensuring that every inmate knew who held the power. Despite the terror, the desire for freedom burned hot. Tybalt and his gang were counting seconds, waiting for the lights to dim so they could gamble their lives for a chance at escape. Midnight, the silence was heavy, broken only by the rhythmic heartbeat of desperate men. They moved like shadows, guided by the precision of a thief who had mapped the guards' very movements. But the prison was a living beast. Sensors triggered traps that defied the laws of logic, transforming the simple hallway into a labyrinth of shifting floors and disappearing paths. The dream of freedom died in the mist of a sleeping gas. They had traversed hallways that never ended and traps that never slept. They were caught in a trap of their own making, trapped within the unbreakable walls of Baymard.